Guys, welcome to episode number 15 of the Derby Premier Live. At the start of this episode, we're currently in the January transfer window, midway through, with an FA Cup replay to play against Manchester United. Of course, we did draw in the last episode. If you did miss it, a lot did happen, and it was quite a productive episode in terms of signings and results. So we do have the game at Old Trafford, obviously, to kick off this episode. Really tough game, and then in 3 days' time we got the Stoke game. We're probably going to have to play a bit of a weaker team against Stoke, which is a bit of a shame, but obviously I just want to try and do as best as we can in the FA Cup. If we could win against Man United, then that would be phenomenal, and hopefully we get a bit of an easier team in the next round. It's kind of annoying that we did get such a tough team in the first round, and yeah, I'll run my end straight away. So in between the two episodes, I have been adding more players to this ever-growing shortlist. So obviously I've got these goalkeepers here, and we're just going to see what the scout report comes back. Most of them are under 26. Most of them are under 22, to be fair. But yeah, we'll wait and see what kind of rating and what kind of price they're looking at. And there have been a couple of bids for a couple of these players. So obviously they are... This guy might have actually just moved. I think he's literally just moved as I've added him to the shortlist. So we're going to have to remove Mantle from the shortlist. We have added Ben Osborne, who is a little bit versatile, can play centre mid or as a left wing back. I think he'd be good for this 3-5-2 that we're playing, as a bit more of a defensive left mid, and apparently you can get him on a loan. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. We're going to look to loan a few players, and I think one for sure is going to be Harry Wilson. He's been very heavily linked with a Championship move at the minute. It might be Swansea, it might be Derby. We'll have to wait and see. There's another couple of days until the window does close, so anything can happen. Obviously, can play at cam or on the right-hand side. And then we got Pigliestri from technically Man United, but on this database he's still at Club Atletico Penarol, whatever they're called, in the Mexican League, maybe? I don't know what league they're in, but yeah, he's obviously just moved to Manchester United, so there's a lot of hype around him. But I think I'd rather go for Harry Wilson just because he's a little bit more realistic, and I don't know, we can always look at Pigliestri in the future, but I think for this episode we'll probably look at Harry Wilson. And then up front we are also being linked to Kenneth Sahor. Obviously Charlie Austin we looked at, but I don't think it's possible. Kenneth Sahor's, in my opinion, a better player because he's more suited to that role. In a way, I kind of wish that we didn't sign Adam Ida in the last episode, because he's essentially Adam Ida, but he's basically Lucas João. That's what Kenneth Sahor is, but a little bit better. So it'd be interesting to see if we can option to loan him. But I think straight away, since it is being linked and it would be a really nice signing, I'm going to see if we can approach to loan for Harry Wilson, and we can. Now, I think what we're going to do is a loan to buy option. Obviously it is with Jurgen Klopp, and I'm not too sure where we're going to play him, to be honest, because in this 3-5-2 I don't know if it'd be better to play him at cam or better to play him out wide, so I'll have to wait and see. Of course, it is kind of a shame that Liverpool haven't given him that proper opportunity to play in the first team, because I think he'd suit their style quite well, especially on that right hand side. But obviously they've got Jota, Shaqiri and a lot of other players, so it is a little bit of a difficult one, and it looks like Jurgen Klopp is interested. So I could do it at 1 year, and then next January we make it permanent, or do I do a short term and make it permanent at the end of the season? I'll try the 1 year, because then we've just got the extra bit of time to make it permanent. Obviously if we don't have the money, so yeah, they're just looking for a short-term loan, so we'll have to accept that. It is a little bit more realistic, of course. A lot of wages for Harry Wilson. I want to go kind of like that, to be honest. We'll give it a crack and see if Liverpool are willing to pay. So they are paying 60%, so that's good to see. And now the transfer sum. Oof, 21 million. That is a lot of money. I'm trying to think what can we negotiate down to. It's a good price, but we can still afford at the end of the season. That's what you got to remember. We have to make this money somehow. I think there's a small window where when you get your money for next season, you can make these signings permanent. But I think if we go down to 15 million, just so then Liverpool can counterbid that potentially. I'll see if we can kind of meet in the middle at around 17 million, maybe 18 million. But I don't want to be paying over 20 million for him, that's for sure. And they've gone down to 18. So let's go negotiate that down an extra couple of million. We'll go to 16.5. Hopefully Liverpool do accept that, and there we go, we have sorted that out. So now this is the interesting part. Does Harry Wilson want to come to us? That is the very interesting part about this loan to buy system. You can do all this bit, you can sort all this out, but it's whether Harry Wilson actually wants to move to us or not. And as we found out with Liam Delap, he didn't, but then when we tried for a second time, it did work. So I think we'll leave it there for the time being. As always, if Derby do make the signing of Kenneth Sahor or Charlie Austin or whoever, we will look to bring them in. So let's now go into the Manchester United game, and then we'll find out after this whether Harry Wilson wants to sign. So going to have to make a couple of changes due to fitness, but we should still have a pretty strong lineup. I think I will go for Burn from the start, just have that defensive aspect to us. I'm tempted to put Ben Cabango in, because I think he did quite well. Or do I put Evans in? I think Cabango's just a little bit stronger and a bit more physical. Although I do kind of need a bit of pace at the back if we are playing against Manchester United, of course. And Evans does have better standing tackling. What is it in terms of physical? Yeah, it's 2 more strength on Cabango. I don't know. It's a tricky one, because you do need exactly the right player for this kind of game because of Manchester United's pacey attack. I think we'll go for Evans just because hopefully that extra couple of pace will make the difference. Although maybe check in the acceleration and sprint speed. 64 acceleration. He's got 63, so it's pretty tight. Not too sure who I'm going to go for. Marcus Rashford with 5 goals in the last 3 games, but this is the first FA Cup game, so I'm not too sure. I'm guessing that's in the league. Yeah, looking at their team, of course, they are playing a 4-2-3-1. Romero in goal when Henderson was in. Yeah, Henderson was definitely in the last game, so it's interesting that they've changed that. Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Alderweireld and Maguire. Obviously Maguire coming in for Lindelof, so a little bit stronger at that defence. Matic and Fred in the holding roles, then Eric Lamela, Rashford, Fernandes and Anthony Martial up front. Obviously Eric Lamela and Alderweireld, both from Tottenham Hotspur, with that number 7 shirt. I went for Evans in the end just because he's obviously much higher rated, like 8 ratings high and a little bit better fitness. Burn on that right mid position. And then Lawrence and Marriott up top. Alright, to Rashford, who is very wide indeed. Evans has gone out to meet him. On the edge here with Fred. Slipped into Martial through the legs of Lamela, and Nemanja Matic there with the goal to make it 1-0 in the 25th minute. Not exactly the start we were looking for, but then again we did concede first in the previous game. I think at this time in the previous game we were actually 2-0 down, so in a way we're doing a little bit better. Rashford on the edge into Fred, slips it into Bruno Fernandes. I can't select the player that I want, and it is into the back of the net for Manchester United to make it 2-0, and it does seem much harder away from home. I don't think we've had a single opportunity to really shoot, and obviously Bruno Fernandes probably around 89 rated with a +5. You could even say like 94, and it's yeah, very difficult against these very good players. So for Martial, slips it into Bruno, and there's 3-0, and that's probably game over. Unfortunately, it's not going to be like the first leg. There is no comeback looking likely. It's very difficult defensively against Man United. We have got Ida on now, so we can start to be a bit more direct, but I think it's too little too late now. I just don't think we're going to be able to get back into this one. Ida with the ball here. Not really seen much from any of our attackers, but Max Bird's in the box with the shot and with the goal to maybe give us a slim chance. We've got 15 minutes to score 2 goals, but yeah, Bird's been like, he doesn't, the thing is with Bird, you don't see what he actually does in any of the highlights, like maybe defensive ones, but yeah, it's quite an interesting role that he does play. He kind of assists the assister quite a lot of the time. Yeah, we have got about 10ish minutes, but as you can see, we haven't really got any outlet up front. Chance here for United. We've kind of pulled the defence apart, trying to win the ball back. Pogba's gone around Bird, but blocked by Bielik. Gala on the edge here, trying to get the 4th goal for Manchester United. And there it is with Bruno Fernandes, and that is us, unfortunately, knocked out of the FA Cup. Obviously, like as the commentator says, they have been unplayable today. The vast difference between this team that we played today, like at Old Trafford and away games, where we managed to, quite fortunately in the last minute, to be fair, it was literally the last second, equalise to get the replay. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes with the hat-trick, and yeah, just a really tough game. I couldn't really do much about Man United going forwards, and maybe next season we might need to look to change to a 5 at the back or a 4 at the back, because I just don't think the 3 quite works against teams that are absolutely ridiculous going forwards. So now that we are knocked out of the FA Cup, we can fully concentrate on the wonderful league of the Championship. Mike Twite does want to play the next game against Stoke City. We'll potentially have to do that because of fitness, as you can see. But one thing I do want to do, if I can think where to do it, I think if you go into development, that should do it. We do need to do some development plans for Rodon, Cabango, and of course Ida. So I think pace is the main aspect that we probably need to improve on these defenders. As you can see, we have got Matt Clark in it. We'll go that at it. The thing is, when a player doesn't play, they don't really grow, which I do quite like about this system. But we do need to find Adam Ida up front and hopefully change him to a, I don't know if I want to improve his weak foot or skill moves. I'll have a look what they are. I think he's got 3-star skills. No, he doesn't, so we'll go for skill moves first, just because it's nice to have, and it will increase his pace and shooting stats and his stamina, which down at 60 isn't really that good at all. And 3-star weak foot is okay for the time being. So we haven't heard anything back from Harry Wilson yet, so it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. I think it's still in the transfer hub. Let me just quickly check, and yeah, so we just need to wait for Harry Wilson's response. So taking a little bit longer than expected. Maybe that's a good thing, that he's not just instantly knocked it down. So yeah, let's go into the game against Stoke City. We're currently 10th. It's been quite a while, actually. It feels like quite a while since we've probably been playing the Championship. I don't know why I just switched there to Europa League, but yeah, at the minute we're doing quite well. But the gap between Blackburn Rovers and us is only 7 points, so it's not that big at all. And if you look up the table, we've got to get up to 62 points to at least get into the top 2 automatic spots, with 9 losses so far. We have got quite a few, but as I said, like, I want to make this an interesting career mode with the difficulty. I don't want to just win every single game, because that'd be quite boring for everybody. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how we do. Don't think we're going to be able to play Sibley from the start just because of his fitness. We'll probably go for Holmes there. I might just go for the Delap and Ida combo like we did against Cardiff City. It seemed to work quite well in that game. But defensively, we're going to have to make a couple of changes due to fitness. Here's the Stoke team for today's game then. They have got Jack Butland in goal, who we did try to sign, but obviously because these are rivals, I don't know how Stoke are rivals, really. It's like EA have just lobbed a circle over like the East Midlands and gone, yeah, there you go. I don't think Stoke's even in the East Midlands, is it? It's in Staffordshire. So yeah, a little bit odd, I'm not too sure, but yeah. Jack Butland in goal, Tommy Smith and Fox at fullback, Martin Zindi and Shawcross, then John Obi Mikel, Clucas and Joe Allen, then Tom Ince against his former club out wide on the right, James McLean and Sam Vokes up top. Obviously, bit of a weaker team for us just because of fitness. We've had to go for Rodon, Cabango and Dewerik as a back 3. Shinny come into that holding role, and then Ida and Delap up front. Comes with the ball here, just waiting for the runner of Adam Ida in the box. Now with the shot and with the goal, does make it 1-0 in the 25th minute. It's been a much tougher game than when we played Stoke at their ground, which is quite surprising since we're at home. But yeah, obviously it's not the strongest of teams because of the recent Man United game. But yeah, I think Ida feel like you can tell when a player feels good. Cabango feels really good as a defender. Like, I think the problem with Brown and Buchanan is because they're so short, they're under 6 foot. Playing them at centre back is kind of difficult, but since Cabango's like 6'2" at least, might even be 6'3", feels really good. But yeah, Ida's done really well in the last couple of games, obviously scoring against Cardiff and now against Stoke. Johnny McKell with the ball into Vokes. It's nice passing football, but do intercept it eventually. Chance here to get Delap in. Good ball from Adam Ida. Can Delap find the back of the net now with the finish? Yes, he can. That's exactly what we needed, Liam Delap with the goal. I think he did actually. I think the previous game against Stoke was when Delap scored a hat-trick, and then after that game we made it permanent because I was like, well, we just don't want to lose this player because he's really, really good at still 17, I believe, so super young. And yeah, it was a good assist from Adam Ida just to release Delap and to find the back of the net to make it 2-1. Hopefully we can get the win. Injury to Ida here, which I'm not too happy with since he is a brand new signing. Hopefully it's nothing too major. Ball goes into the middle. Delap pulls it back to Sibley with the volley. Now with Jordan Ibe across the face of goal. It's saved by Jack Butland in the end. 10 minutes to go. Good chance here for Knight to run into. A lot of space through this defence. Can he find the finishing goal to win the game? Yes, he can. Jason Knight. Wonderful player. Like, really, really good this career mode. And again, like Bird, doesn't get too much recognition, but you know that's why we are in the 4th in the league at the minute, because of the hard work of them two. And good to get him a goal. It might be his 2nd or 3rd goal, 1st goal. I'm sure he might have scored a goal in the Carabao Cup then. I'm sure I've scored with him before. Yeah, good to wrap up the game and get the 3 points. Corner goes in deep. Now with the header, saved by Marshall. Again, he's had to make a couple of decent saves. It's gone into the back of the net. How has that gone in? That is the weirdest corner I've seen in a while. We saved a couple with Marshall, but then I don't know why they're saying like this, because it's only 3-2. But yeah, brought the keeper out slightly because they were pinging him into the middle. I don't know if he just completely... Yeah, it's a bit of a weird animation from Marshall. I'm not too sure why he did that, but there's full time. I do like the new feature that you can literally just kick off straight away and it will blow the whistle. Whereas in previous years, like, you've been able to go on another kick-off and potentially score a goal. But yeah, we do get the 3 points against Stoke. As I said, it's a really big 3 points. Just to keep the run going. So Harry Wilson is loaned in. I've just seen the message there. He is available to... oh, he's available for selection and training straight away. Cool. He'll return to Liverpool as soon as his loan expires. So even if we don't make it permanent, if we don't have the money when it's possible... that's 77 rated. That is the best player at the club now. Highest rated. Better than Rooney. And the question is, where do we put him? And I think that's what I'm probably going to have to work out in between the 2 episodes of where we play Harry Wilson and what we actually do with him, because I'm not 100% sure. He's got to be starting with those kind of stats, but I just don't know where. It's like, how do you get... Because of all the players that we do have at the club, it might be a case of just dropping someone like Morgan Whittaker, which is a shame because he's done quite well. But when you compare the two in stats, you know, other than physical, Wilson is very much better than him. So I'll do that for the time being, but we might look to do something else. I'm not too sure what I can really do because of the number of players we do have. It's just very, very difficult to get anything. So yeah. So we do have a scout report here for Justin Bigelow, 77 rated, and would cost us 16 million. So I just don't think we're going to be able to realistically afford a goalkeeper that expensive. Very cheap wages, but just in terms of the finances, as you can see, we only have 4 million to spend, and I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do the loan to buy on Harry Wilson. I don't know if we need to sell essentially 10 million worth, but we do have a few offers here. One is a loan to buy for Simula from Stoke City. I don't really want to go for a loan to buy, so let's go into negotiate and see if we can make that just a basic term loan until the end of the season. It's quite interesting that Stoke City are looking for him. Let's see if they're interested in just a loan. No, they're not, so they're only just looking to buy him. And we do have the transfer offer here from Feyenoord for Jack Marriott. Again, another player that I don't really have an interest in selling. I know we got a lot of strikers and stuff like that, but it's one of those where it's a player I do like very much. One player I was looking at was Ben Foster, just as a short-term option to replace Marshall. Obviously, very good goalkeeper. I think he's actually the best in the league if I look quickly. As you can see, if we just look at the top assisters in the league, not top assisters, well, top assisters is all of us, literally. We have Delap Rooney, Lawrence Marriott and Jason Knight all in that top bracket, and then we've got Holmes and Bird further down, Joswiak and Whittaker further down, and yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but as you can see, 30 games and 16 clean sheets for Ben Foster, so one of the best goalkeepers in the league. And it'd be very interesting to see if we could potentially make it happen. That's what I was kind of hoping to do with Tom Heaton, but obviously because of the option now to make it a approach to sign on a pre-contract, it means I can't get him right now. Which I would like from EA to change this, so you can have the option to sign on a pre-contract, or you can pay, you know, maybe just $1 million. It's kind of frustrating that you can't do that, but at the same time, I guess it's one of the mechanics in the game. So yeah, let's go in for Ben Foster, just because he is a good goalkeeper. Like a really, like if you add a +5 to that, you're looking at an 83 rated goalkeeper in the championship. So let's go do that. It's interesting that they've allowed us to do this, and I might be able to do a swap deal with Kellaroos. If I can do that, then that'd be great. Just because he's not exactly playing too much, and he's worth $1 million already. I'll go for. I'm trying to save him as much money as possible. We'll go for 400,000 plus Kellaroos. And there you go. That's very good indeed. I think that's a no-brainer in my opinion, because if you look at these other goalkeepers we've got on the list, Walton's about 5 million. Heaton we can't get. Even Danny Ward, who's 74 rated, he's a bit of a short-term option anyway. He's not going to grow in stats at 27, but he's not going to go down in stats in the next 6 years basically. But I just think Ben Foster's got much better stats, of course. As you can see, like 80 reflexes, nearly 80 positioning, and 77 diving. Really good indeed. And I believe, yeah, 31 million. Whoever suggested this guy, where do you think I've got my money from? I can't afford 31 million value. So yeah, looks like we're not going to be able to get him. I'm not too sure about this Farinez guy, but obviously, as I said, Foster is a short-term fix. So a young goalkeeper is going to cost us at least 5 or 6 million. So let's go negotiate the contract for Ben Foster. I think this is a no-brainer kind of deal. Like, it's a really good goalkeeper, the best in the league, and essentially what Tom Heaton was. Basically, this is Tom Heaton, but in the championship. That's literally all I can say about Ben Foster. I would have probably preferred Tom Heaton because it's slightly more realistic, because he's not exactly playing at Aston Villa now that Emi Martinez is there. Yeah, let's see what we can do in terms of this. I think we'll go for... Actually, I might go for a little bit more of a bonus just because it is Ben Foster. So we'll go for 130, and hopefully he'll sign that contract at 37 years old. Very old indeed. It's actually older than Marshall, but he is 7 ratings higher, so a much better goalkeeper. And hopefully, there we go. We've got Ben Foster in. That is a sensational deal. And it's kind of what Derby have done in real life. Like, they've realised that getting a good young goalkeeper is going to cost us a lot of money. Therefore, Ben Foster, it's a really, really good sign. And obviously, I'm not too sure why it says unhappy when you sign new players. It seems to be a bit of a glitch, but then it goes a day after. So that morale will sort itself out shortly. Not too sure why he's not got more sharpness. That seems a bit odd. I'm not too sure if Watford do have another goalkeeper at the club. It'll be interesting to see, of course. But yeah, Ben Foster, just as a short-term replacement between now and the end of the season, it's a really good goalkeeper, and it means we have this remaining transfer budget to sign whoever Derby do sign in real life. So that's why I've done this, because if I signed let's just say Christian Morton and spent all my transfer budget, whoever Derby signed tomorrow or the day after, I wouldn't be able to sign. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Ben Foster's a brilliant goalkeeper and probably would even do quite well in the Premier League at 6'4", of course. I think Marshall's 6'5", no, he's 6'3", so he's a little bit taller than Marshall. And as you can see, 7 diving more, 9 more handling, 5 more kicking, 8 more reflexes, same speed, but then 8 more in positioning. And obviously, once he gets those plus 5 stats, obviously on all of those, he'll be even better goalkeeper. So I think it's a really good short-term option, and it cost us peanuts. You know, Keller Roos wasn't playing anyway. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that signing. Interesting that Ida he picked up an injury in the last game, but it doesn't seem to have an effect. So yeah, we do need to look to probably thin the squad a little bit. I have a few concerns that we have too many players, but as you can see, Jordan Ibe has actually grown to a 76 rated player. And I kind of want to get Ibe involved a little bit more, but again, where do I put him? Where do I put all these players? It is a little bit bonkers at the minute because we just have so many players to consider. So I think thinning the squad might be the thing to do. So let me just go over to the squad hub. Obviously, we still do have Scott Carson at the club technically, so I'm not too sure what we'll do with him at the end of the season. But I think we do need to look to thin the squad. If I do it by finances, actually, that might make a bit more sense, because then I can see exactly what's happening. You see, Hector Ingram's never going to really be useful, so I may as well we either let him go on a permanent, or he'll go at the end of the season on a free, just because he is under 23. I don't think you can get a pre-contract on him. Ravas is going to the Chinese Super League, I think. So that'll be him going off. We have loan listed Buchanan and Brown, just because I do need to get them first team football, if possible. I've basically loaned a lot of players, but I don't think anyone's really looking to get them on loan, which is a bit of a shame. The thing is with Hutchinson is, if we do, I can't do it anyway because we've only just signed him, but if we do get an injury to a centre mid, he can come in as backup. See, Curtis Davis is okay, but I might be tempted just to sell him at this point, because I just don't really need him. We have a lot of centre backs at the club, and it'll just obviously help us financially, so let's transfer list him. Bit of a shame. We could technically transfer list Marshall, but I think since he doesn't have that much value anyway, and he's not on that much wage as well, only 9,000 a week, it's not too much of an issue. Mike Tawera might be one that will go at the end of the season, because at this point he's not exactly played too many games. He's only played 11 games, so he's not played too much, and it's one of those where he's not going to grow in stats, so it's not that helpful. Liam Delap obviously very good indeed, already grew by 5 ratings. I will actually show you that as well. Look at the growth. Just looking at the overall growth then of the squad so far, just to see how we've done pretty much midway through. Bateman has grown by +3 for Ravas. Yuan +2, Iden +3, Tabucci +2, Hutchinson +2, which I'll try and play him a little bit more. It's very difficult because we have got Evans and Shinnie, but as he is only 20 years old, it'll be a good one for long-term growth. Lee Buchanan hasn't played too much, I don't think, but has gone up by +1. Jordan Brown we did play quite a bit with early on in the season, but I think it kind of caused us defensive issues just because he is only 5'11", and only about 60 rated, but has grown by +4. Mitchell Lawson +1, Hector Ingham +3. Bobby Duncan, I probably want to play Bobby Duncan a little bit more, which I'll look to do obviously now. We are playing 2 strikers. But yeah, like I think he's one that, because we have so many strikers, it's very difficult to juggle them all. +2 for Simula. Cabango's obviously only just joined the club, so no growth for him. Mitchell, same rating. Morgan Whittaker +5. I think that's one of our better performers in terms of growth. That's for sure. Getting to a stage now where he's actually quite usable and quite good. Liam Delap by +5 as well. Again, one of our best players this season. Lots and lots of goals. Lewis Sibley only a +1, but did get that big injury, so it kind of stopped his growth by quite a bit. Ida's only just joined, so no growth for him. Jozasu -1, +1 for Tawerik, -1 for Curtis, -1 for Carson, +5 for Jason Knight. Jason Knight and Bird, obviously 2 of our biggest growers. Nathan Burns, same rating since he is only 28. Roden the same because he's only just joined. Marshall -1 because he is 35. They just knock him down in ratings. +2 for Jack Marriott, +3 for Evans. That's good to see. +5 for Max Bird, who is a 72 now. And hopefully we can get that towards 75 by the end of the season. I don't see why not. And then it'll be very good for next season. +1 for Graham Shinney, +1 for Tom Lawrence. I'm surprised Lawrence hasn't grown more, for saying, if I'd show you like 14 goals and 11 assists, like that's really, really good. And only a +1, it's not great. Dwayne Holmes +2, who hasn't played too much, but still contributed nicely. +4 for Bielik, +4 for Matt Clark, -1 for Rooney, +5 for Joswiak, +4 for Ibe, same for Wilson, and same for Foster. So yeah, I think in terms of transfer business now, I'm pretty much done until Derby sign whoever they do sign. So there will be another signing, or 2 or 3, depending on what Derby do in real life. But if anything, we need to reduce the squad to basically get us into a better position. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Make sure you do leave a like rating if you did enjoy this episode. Hopefully you guys like the signing of Harry Wilson. Obviously it's going to be interesting to see how he does in the Championship. Of course, I might look to change formation. I don't know how best to get all these players in. I want to get Sibley back into the first team, but then it'd mean dropping Knight or Rooney. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to get all these players in, but we're going to have to work it out. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Leave a like rating if you did enjoy, and see you soon. Bye.